Welcome back, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey here, and this is either the greatest display of hypocrisy or ignorance that I've seen in the last few days. Congressman Schiff is now complaining that Trump is conspiring with the AG to cover up collusion by making documents public. Yes. You see, for the last couple of months, we've heard virtually nothing from Congress other than make the full report that Robert Mueller issued after his investigation 100% public. AG Barr has rightly responded that the 92% unredacted, the 8% redacted, available to the general public, like you and I, is redacted according to U.S. law. The other copy, which is 98% unredacted or 2% redacted, is available to certain members of Congress, and that 2% that is redacted is required by United States law. We've even had an attorney testify that unredacting, if that's a word, basically making that report 100% available to Congress even, would break the law. So, yes, we've actually had someone say, I'm sorry, Congressman, complying with your subpoena would break the law. And now that President Trump has authorized Attorney General Barr to declassify material that he feels should be declassified to get to the bottom of the Russiagate investigation and scandal, Congressman Schiff now claims that making information available is a cover up. I would say I'm old enough to remember, but anyone born in the last year is, well, 3 years, is old enough to remember Congressman Schiff reading classified information in an open house hearing. So one wonders how someone can be completely moronic as to claim that making information available is a cover up. And you see, it's right here in black and white that last month Barr said he was reviewing the conduct of the FBI during its original 2016 Trump Russia investigation, telling Congress during testimony that while DOJ Inspector General Michael Horowitz has a pending investigation into FISA abuse, Barr said, I'm reviewing the conduct of the Russia investigation and all of the aspects of counterintelligence investigation that was conducted in the summer of 2016. Basically, what he's saying is Robert Mueller investigated this for over 2 years. In his findings, Robert Mueller very clearly said there was no collusion and he had no evidence of obstruction. Therefore, he found that nothing was done that was illegal. So I'm going to find out why there was a FISA warrant issued for no crime, why it was issued using only what we now know to be false, and all of the other things that were done to spy on a then private citizen campaigning to be elected president. Unsurprisingly, this is horrible in the eyes of the Democrats because the modern Democratic Party is the party of obey me, obey me, obey me. They are the party of you will break the law when we tell you. If you don't, you'll go to jail. But then when you do, if you do, you'll go to jail. They are the party of we will remove all who threaten us. We've seen it for the last several years with Seth Rich and so many others mysteriously dying or committing suicide by 2 bullets to the back of the head. Yet, now that we have an Attorney General with teeth, or as I've described him, a bulldog in that office, who is unwilling to let things just slide, Democrats are running scared. As probably they should, because, of course, when the Attorney General and the IG and the rest of those in office finally learn the full truth, we're going to see a lot of mudslinging, a lot of explaining, a lot of excusing, and if I get what I want, a lot of empty seats in the House of Representatives and the Senate, as Democrats and Republicans alike who are guilty of crimes are held to account for those crimes. At the bare minimum, removed from office and never allowed to run for public office again, although many of them likely will face jail time. But we know how well that works. We have Anthony Weiner, who was required to register as a sex offender, who didn't show up to do it. We've heard nothing else but that. Where is he? Why is he not back in jail? Well, he's very close to the Clintons. And of course, as I've said before, We have a three-tier justice system. One for the peasants like you and I, one for everyone in government, and then one for those who rule the country. And it has to stop. And if this is to be believed, it's about to stop. We've had decades upon decades upon decades of government officials who don't care for the actual truth. You see, starting back almost 100 years ago, the Democrats decided that winning the presidency, if you're not a Democrat, was not allowed, and have tried to impeach every Republican president since that time. The only one they ever got close to was Richard Nixon, who did delete 13 minutes of tape. He chose to resign, leaving Gerald Ford to serve the remainder of his term, after which we were gifted with Jimmy Carter. Of course, as soon as Jimmy Carter lost because Ronald Reagan asked, "Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?" and the country resoundingly said no, well, they started trying to impeach. And it took Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North falling on his sword to stop that process. Of course, they tried with George H.W. Bush, although that was so minimal as to not be recognized, because, of course, Bush 41 was, of course, not really 100% Republican. He was a lifelong politician. Now we get into 93 to 2001 with Bill Clinton. And to make this short and sweet, Bill Clinton was not impeached for having an affair. It's not illegal to cheat on your wife. It's immoral, stupid, wrong. I would love to ask Bill Clinton why he didn't lock the door, but Bill Clinton was impeached for perjury, that being lying to the U.S. Senate under oath. He was ultimately censured, and that's it. He served the remainder of his time and still draws his salary to this day. But now we have 2016, where we have a dossier full of lies and other unverified information. We have people who we believe were sent at the behest of the Clinton campaign to pose as Russian actors who ultimately did nothing. We have an email to, I believe, Don Jr. after WikiLeaks dropped their information, which they try to construe as he knew it was coming. No, he didn't. We all did, because it happened before the email, and more and more and more. People ignore something like Barack Obama during the 2012 race, telling Russian diplomat Dmitry Medvedev that I'll have more flexibility after the election. Imagine for just one moment we had a video with audio of President Trump doing that after his election. We would hear nothing but, see, he's colluding. He's colluding. How is he colluding to win the race he already won? No, he's colluding. Democrats don't care about facts, logic, simple ability to use your brain. In their mind, everything is a crime if they want it to be. They have held the Attorney General in contempt for following the law. They have issued a subpoena that requires him to break the law. They are ignoring 2.5 years almost of research by Robert Mueller because it didn't reach the conclusion they wanted, and now demand that every single person that spoke to Robert Mueller's investigative team come now speak to them so they can be questioned for hours on end, so that they can be forced to trip up and say, aha, see, you lied, so the whole thing's gone, so there was collusion, so just give us power. These are the moves of children, honestly. This is the move of, you can't prove I did it, so you have to say I didn't do it, so now you have to give me what I want. Or the moves of, you can't really prove you didn't do it, so we're just going to say you did. We saw it with the Kavanaugh hearing, where Senator Schumer is on record saying the burden of proof lies with the accused, not the accuser, essentially creating a guilty until proven innocent scenario, which is, of course, counter to our entire legal system. This is going to continue, unfortunately, until we start seeing incontrovertible proof of setups, of crimes, and so much more committed by Democrats. And when the powerful see themselves in danger of going to jail We're going to see them roll on everyone they can, trying to keep their power. We're going to see the media like CNN or MSNBC covering for them, saying, well, they thought there was collusion. They were just doing what they thought was right. So they paid for a dossier full of lies to create a situation which looked bad, to then justify an investigation to steal power. And it's not going to be pretty, but unfortunately it's necessary. But I've talked long enough. Let me know what you think. Keep the comments civil, though. Remember, we don't learn from an argument. We learn from debate. Please remember also to like and share this video, as well as to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you're among the first to know of all new content as it is posted. Until next time, everyone have a wonderful day.